Howdy folks, and welcome back to some more God of War here on Tisbury 33 Games. I am Cody Shalafu, and last time we defeated the Minotaur. We got our first boss in quite some time, and now we are trying to complete the Hades challenge, so this looks very promising. Let me get all these things. So if you are enjoying the series, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share it with anyone who might enjoy the series. I'm enjoying putting it out there. I hope you guys are enjoying watching it. And let's see if we can... Oh, we can basically almost all the way upgrade at least to level 4 our things. We should only be maybe 120 away. So let's read. My second son, my last, has followed his brother to the Elysian fields. In my heart, I know I must continue the work of the gods, but they take so much, and at last my soul begins to doubt. Pathos Verdes III. Alright. Let's see what we got here. And take the skull of this guy. Come on, buddy. Architect's son's head, which I would assume leads to one of those doors. Again, we're still in Pandora's temple. All these episodes have been in Pandora's temple. So I would assume that we will now have to go back to the beginning and put this in one of those doors. But last episode, we were talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm a huge fan, and the live-action Netflix adaptation has come out by the time you're watching this. Has been out for about a week now, so if you haven't watched and you plan on watching, we're going to be discussing it a little bit. We discussed a little bit in the last episode, as we got a new god telling us what to do, giving us a power of some sort. Let's listen to what they got to say.
Lord Hades.
Your progress is impressive, Kratos. But your skills will not carry you to your ultimate goal. I offer you the souls of Hades itself. The souls of the dead, who stand ready to fight by your side. Take this weapon, Kratos. Take this power, and use it to defeat your enemies.
Acquire the army of Hades. Press the up to... Okay, so that's another one of our mana magic uses, so let's do it. You just toss out some boys and they come and help you out. That is not too shabby at all. That's a very powerful one. Probably the next thing we upgrade then. Okay, so that's not too bad. Back to Avatar: The Last Airbender. We talked last episode about some of the characters and some of the...
Gods, Kratos. Go forth in the name of Olympus.
Alright, so Hades helping us out here. Again, all the gods are pretty upset at what Ares is doing, so that's why they're all helping us. But we talked about the last episode. We had kind of talked about some of the characters, how I thought about them. Now let's talk about the actual story and the actual things that they cut and why that's either a good thing or a bad thing or here have you. So obviously they took 20 episodes, had to jam it into 8. However, instead of 20 20-minute episodes, they had 8 45-minute to 1 hour episodes. So for the most part, they got most everything that was like important. Like the super important stuff was touched upon. All of the main story beats, they were touched on, which obviously you have to do, right? That's like the whole point of the thing. There are some things, however, that I think they could have done better. So there is, I think I mentioned in the last episode, there's an episode I think the second or third episode, where they're in Omashu, and they kind of tie together King Boomy. King Boomy's next episode. They kind of tie together the freedom fighters with Jet and his squad, and the Mechanist, who usually in the original show was shown in the one of the air temples that they eventually traveled to. Let me see if I think that door's over here somewhere. If not, then we'll have to go back to the beginning. And they pushed those two episodes together, and I thought it worked fine. I thought it was fine. I think that probably could have been doors left. I think it could have been stronger if they focused more on one or the other. But again, they have to make some liberties here or there, right? So I thought that was cool. I didn't like they have the episode with High Bay, High Bay, I believe, the Spirit of the Woods, and in the episode where in the show they go to this place, and this is that temple that gave us all the upgrades, so I don't want to go here. They go to a town, and the forest has been decimated. It's been attacked by the Fire Nation. They scorch the earth, all that fun stuff, and that upsets the forest spirits, High Bay. And now he comes out at night and terrorizes the place. And the spirit world is super important in the realm of Avatar, and it's more of importance in the Korra series, than the next one after the original Avatar, but it's still important here, especially with Aang, especially. Air nomads kind of have that spiritual connectivity as it is. And in the show, I believe there's an episode in season 2 or 3 where everyone goes into the spirit realm, and they have to kind of find their own things and have to kind of face their own hard truths and whatnot. And they kind of mushed the original Spirit episode and that episode together, which I didn't particularly love. In the original episode, Aang meditates, he goes in the spirit world, and Katara and Sokka have to stay behind and basically tell the townsfolk that it's alright, that everything's going to be okay, that Aang has it. And they all kind of just go into the spirit realm. Where is this? Where am I putting this head? Which is fine, I guess. Okay, so it looks like I do have to go this way since homeboys are here. Oh, time for laundry, I guess, but not until this episode's over. Which I just think, that was, I think, important for the people, especially the Avatar's gone for 100 years, right? No one has faith in him to do the job. Right? So I think it was a little bit important. Shine this light. Hopefully now it fucking works. It's not. But it shows a little bit of importance, right? That he has to do that on his own, has to do it alone. And has to do it for. I think the thing's over here. For those people to kind of trust him, and no one was there to kind of back up that trust. They ended up figuring it out, whatever, obviously. But I don't know. I think that episode could have been different. What I did not like is the omission of Aang really water bending. He didn't water bend really at all, and. You have to activate it. In the show, he takes water bending. It comes to him very naturally. Oh, here it is. crank that soldier boy, baby. Oh, watch me crank now. Watch me roll. Okay, finally, now we have lifted the water. Okay, so this is perfect. So now I know what I have to do now. I have to lift this. I have to line this up with that door. I think this stays here. Where they at, though? Anyway, so back to as I try to figure this out, let me continue my thoughts. I'm not just sitting here like a dope. But there is one of the biggest omission I think in my part was Aang learning waterbending so easily, and Katara taking her extra time to learn it. She was a waterbender that didn't have much skills because all of the waterbenders had died due to the Fire Nation. So when Katara's learning and Aang's learning at the same time, Aang just picks it up very naturally because those two skills are quite similar, right? And so he picks it up very naturally, and it's kind of the thing is like, oh, blah blah blah, like you'll get it, you're fine. And Katara gets very frustrated and then proves herself at the very end. Aha, I figured it out. The very end of the season. Okay, now is there... Now we turn this guy around so it all lines up. And then that beam of light should figure itself out. And it lines up at the end of the season where she challenges Master Paku and, fights, as the woman. And they're like, women can't fight here in the southern air, northern water tribe, blah, blah, blah. And then she becomes a master and she figures it out. And she's one of the best waterbenders to ever live. But you don't get that. And I think that was a big, something that I would have liked to see. Would have liked to have seen. So let's watch this cutscene real quick. I think we figured it out, boys. I think we're finally going to get Pandora's box. Alright, let's go retrieve our fortune. But back to that point after that fun cutscene. We never get that. We never see him water bend at all. So now we are...
Your progress is impressive, Kratos. But be warned. Once you ascend to the upper levels of the temple, you will not be able to return without Pandora's box.
Okay, we are ready. Now we're going to the upper levels.
As Kratos rose through the massive temple constructed to guard Pandora's box, he realized it was a monument not only to the gods of Olympus, but to the madness of the mortal who had designed it. He'd conquered the lower floors of Pandora's temple, but what lay in wait above would test even the greatest warrior.
Heavy on the cutscenes. Who's this Egyptian-looking ass? Oh, relax, buddy. Calm down. You skinny ass. Put the pressure on, bud. 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 And to go with that, Avatar point. Because he is so good at water naturally, it lulls him into a false sense of security that this is going to be easy. Now, I'm the Avatar. I'm super adept in airbending, obviously. That's the nation in which I grew up in. I mastered that. I'm the youngest guy to ever get the mastery tattoos. That's why he has the arrows and stuff. All of the airbending masters have those tattoos. And he's the youngest one to get them. So it lulls him into a false sense of, okay, this is easy. He then, because of that, alright, let me upgrade this guy. Boom, okay. Lance of the Furies, Might of Hercules, new ability Athena's Blessing, infinite magic while Rage of the Gods activated. Okay. Okay, so we have maxed out our Blade to Chaos, so that's good. So now let's work on this Hades guy. Okay. Oh, look at these things. Alright, so that's our new power-up we just got. Ooh, ouch. Unfortunate guy.
Kratos had been in service to the gods long enough to know the Harpy had been sent as a warning, a reminder from his former master of the decision that had cost Kratos everything.
Some more Kratos
Had
background.
it been that long since he'd almost met his end at the hands of the barbarians? That long since he'd traded everything to save himself?
Ares!
The sky split apart, and the god of war stepped through. Descending from Olympus, he saw the makings of a god in a mere mortal. Ares would save Kratos. He would turn him into the perfect warrior, his servant on Earth. Only a simple pledge of loyalty was required.
My life is yours, Ares. From this day, I shall carry forth your will.
And his fate was sealed. As promised, Ares rescued his new disciple, bringing forth the power of a god. Destroying
Ow.
those who would slaughter Kratos and his men.
Ow.
As for Kratos, no mere sword and shield would befit the newest servant of the god of war. The The blades of chaos, forged in the foulest depths of Hades. Once attached, the chains remained so, chained and seared to the flesh, a part of the bearer's body, a permanent reminder of Kratos' pledge. In return, ultimate power. The rage of Ares exploded from within. But soon, he would learn the true cost of such power. A cost too high even for Kratos to pay.
Wretched beast! I know who it is you serve. Return to your master. Tell the god of war I am his no longer. Tell him he is not safe while I walk the earth. I will find Pandora's box. And I will use it to see him tremble and fall before me.
Ooh, okay. So to wrap up my thought there, he then, because Aang is so like, I am wicked good at everything, he tries to skip everything and go right to fire, which is usually the last element that you learn because it's so difficult to control. And he, kind of skips ahead. Master Zhang Zhang, I believe his name is, warns him, don't do it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And the cliffs of madness lie before you. In my grieving, I fear I may have designed a maze with no true way out. I am right. If I am right, may the cruel, uncaring God show you the way. Pathos, Veritas, the third, once loyal subject to the God. So as he's created this temple, he has gotten less and less faithful to the gods. But because he can't control fire and he thinks he can, he burns Katara, which scars him, and he truly just does not want to do fire at all. So that is kind of my gripes with the show. I'm sure I'm going to be talking the next 8 episodes about this. But that's going to do it for this one. I think a little shorter episode, but it's a nice little cliffhanger as we start our ascent up the top of Pandora's Temple. So if you're enjoying, please leave a like, please subscribe, all that super duper fun stuff, and we'll see you next time here on Tisbury 33 Games.